7 season. He didn't even take a guess, and yet somehow Dan Orlovsky still managed to get it wrong.
Dark day, dark day.
I woke up this morning with a giant smile on my face, and it only got smaller and smaller as the day went on.
I don't even want to see him play for another team, but, I mean, I had no choice.
I feel like my wife just called me at 20 years of being happy and said, we're getting a divorce today. Bad, all the great memories we had together are just running through my head, and all the great games, all the fun that all the joy he's brought in my life. It's unbelievable. I'm total shock today.
This will begin the Brady curse. They're not going to win crap, and I hope they don't win anything ever again.
Patriot fans are understandably upset with Tom Brady leaving New England. While they think their football world is over, maybe this will cheer somebody up. Caesar still has them as the favorite to win the AFC East, although once an undisputed favorite. Now there's a slight one over the Bills, who got better this week with the acquisition of Stefon Diggs. Let me bring Mike Reese in from Foxborough, our Patriots reporter. Mike, we just heard from all these fans who were calling into 98.5 The Sports Hub throughout the day yesterday. What has the reaction been from Brady's now former teammates in New England?
Greeny, life after Tom Brady, the morning after, and you know, just to get a feel for if this was real, I go pick up your Boston Globe this morning, and I wanted to pass it along to you to give you a feel to start off going south. Tom Brady with the big picture there, and then trying to put some humor into it, your Boston Herald. Here's the Florida man. Welcome to Tampa. Brady leaving Pats for the Bucs. But, you know, you had asked me about how the teammates are reacting, and I want to give you my sense, you know, and just taking the temperature of them. You know, in one sense, it's hard for them to believe that Tom Brady could be in another uniform, but in another sense, all of them in that locker room have been through business negotiations with the Patriots, and some of the great leaders in this team have had one foot out the door at times and come back, and others have had one foot out the door at times and left. So in that sense, the idea that it could happen to anyone that has played for the Patriots is a thought among those players in the locker room. I wouldn't say they're totally shocked that this is the end result.
And so obviously the Patriots do go on. We just saw Caesar says they're the favorite to win the division, which is remarkable considering there's really no clarity from what I can tell at the quarterback position. Where do they plan to go from here there?
Well, Greeny, they're going to add a third quarterback. They only have 2 on the roster, but the question is really when. And my understanding of how this is going to go is they're obviously monitoring all opportunities because they're going to add one at some point, and it's just a matter of what becomes available at the right cost. So an example, you know, the Colts, if they're agreeing with Phillip Rivers, what does that mean for their backups, Jacoby Brissett and Brian Hoyer, who have Patriots ties? If one of them maybe comes available, perhaps they could move in that direction. But all that discussion aside, really the focus is on 2019 fourth-round pick Jarrett Stidham, who internally is viewed as a good player who just hasn't had the chance to play. So they'll start there, they'll take a look at him, and they'll probably supplement, whether it's with a veteran or a draft pick. But right now, all eyes on Stidham.
All right, Mike Reese, well done. Obviously, as they continue to make decisions there, we'll continue to come back to you. Thank you very much. I want to go to Ryan Clark. Is RC there? I haven't seen Ryan Clark in a very long time, and it will be a delight to see his face and hear his voice and get his perspective. There he is, the one, the only. Ryan Clark is with us. My man, what was your reaction? Let's start with it this way. When you first saw it come across yesterday, Shefty and Darlington, it's going to be Tampa. What was the first thought that entered your mind?
You know, Greeny, if we weren't in the times that we are in now that I just can't believe, this would be the most unbelievable thing that's happened to me in a decade. When you look at Tom Brady and you think about the New England Patriots, listen, I work with a lady here in Baton Rouge. Her name is Catherine Latuitt. I'm going to say her whole name. She's from Foxborough, Mass. She was mad all day. She's sending text messages. I can't believe him. And then I asked her, I said, why are you so upset? She said, I'm 27 years old. He's the only quarterback I've ever known. I feel like I just got a call from my husband and he divorced me. And that's what Tom Brady was to the New England Patriots. And I felt that that marriage would last forever. So now that he's in Tampa Bay and you look at the weapons that this team has, it's an unbelievable move. But for Tom Brady, I think it's a fountain of youth move because he knows he has those weapons outside.
The division is an interesting one. Carolina's sort of in a state of flux. Atlanta, sort of tough to tell. Clearly, New Orleans is the team to beat in that division. Do you right now believe Brady's Bucs are better than the Saints?
I don't. But and it's not to say that they can't be or won't get there, but this is a new marriage for Tom Brady. This is a new type of relationship. He's never worked with a guy like Bruce Arians, and I worked with Bruce with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was the offensive coordinator there. He's going to show love to his quarterback. Ben was able to do whatever he wanted to do and kind of move around the building as he wants. So Tom Brady will finally get the treatment that he deserves for being a 10 out of 10 quarterback. But they're going to have to develop that chemistry. We know how he likes to, Bruce Arians likes to push the ball down the football field. And the team that they'll be competing against in the New Orleans Saints, they've been doing this together for over a decade. Drew Brees and Sean Payton, this is 15 years of work, 15 years of success. And the last 3 years, you can argue that the New Orleans Saints were the best team in the NFC and just didn't make the plays late in games in the playoffs. And so we can't jump to it right now and say that Tampa Bay is right where they need to be or better than the Saints, but this definitely closed the gap.
It's remarkable when you think about it. Brady and Brees will face off twice next year, assuming they both stay healthy. They're combined 84 years old. Let me go back to the that's just the reality of it. Let's go back to the AFC East here. And you heard me talking to Mike Reese a minute ago. If you're Bill Belichick right now, what are you thinking of doing at the quarterback position?
Well, I think you're going to look internally and understand that Jarrett Stidham is not ready. It's not Jarrett Stidham's time. And coming into the draft last year, you thought getting him in the mid-rounds could be a steal because you would have a future starter. But you don't right now. Cam Newton comes out yesterday and says, you know what, I didn't ask for a trade. You don't do me like that, Carolina. Don't put that narrative out there. But this is a guy, if he's healthy, if you feel like he can quarterback, I think he works in New England. And here's why. Week to week, New England changes as an offense, whether they want to be a run-first offense, if they're an offense that's going to check the ball out of the backfield with their backs, or if they're going to use wide receivers outside. So they can definitely, with Josh McDaniels and all that they have, morph into a team that can work with Cam Newton at the quarterback. We also know that the Indianapolis Colts now have a new quarterback at Phillip Rivers. What does that mean for Jacoby Brissett, who was once the starter in New England when Tom Brady was out and Jimmy Garoppolo goes down? And so there's so many different things that they could do, but they have to get a veteran. They have to get a veteran that can win. And Bill Belichick is going to try to bring back some of that positive energy that he had from the past, going 11-5 with Matt Castle as the starting quarterback after losing Brady in the first game against the Kansas City Chiefs years ago.
RC, you stay safe, my man, all right? And I will see you soon. It's great to talk to you again. Thank you very much.
You do the same.
Meantime,
Yes,
I want to go to Tampa, and let's bring in our reporter, Jenna Lane, who covers the Bucs for us at ESPN. And obviously, this is the biggest day they've had in a very long time. Jenna, what has been the reaction to this enormous news inside the Buccaneers organization?
Yeah, there's just been a ton of shock and disbelief. I know some people, including head coach Bruce Arians, are refraining from reacting until pen officially hits paper, but he's keeping his fingers crossed. That's when I reached out to him last night. That's what he told me. But you also have guys like Jason Pierre-Paul. He couldn't contain his excitement. You would have thought he was a kid on Christmas morning. On the other side of things, though, a guy like Mike Evans, who will tell you emphatically that Jameis Winston is his best friend, he's not going to be comfortable celebrating until he knows where he ends up in all this.
Yeah, and where Jameis ends up, which obviously is a huge piece in all of this. There's going to be a lot of talk about fit, because we've seen Jameis and a lot of other quarterbacks that have played for Bruce Arians in the past with 5-step drops, 7-step drops, waiting a long time in the pocket, letting routes develop. That doesn't feel like what Tom Brady does. What do we make of the Brady fit in what Bruce Arians does offensively?
That's a great question. I've been asked that a lot because everybody knows Bruce Arians' motto is no risk it, no biscuit. He loves for his quarterbacks to take chances downfield. But at the same time, and this is something that Blaine Gabbert told me, Arians also tells us quarterbacks, you can't go broke by putting more money in the bank. And what he means by that is any play that is a positive play, any type of completion is seen as a good thing. He wants his quarterbacks to make good decisions. And as his track record has shown, Brady has a knack for being able to make really, really good decisions. And I'll also say this, with Brady's level of experience and Arians' open-mindedness, even though he's somewhat of an old school coach, he also has a lot of new age ways of thinking. And he is more than willing to collaborate with Brady. And not just him, but his entire staff, Byron Leftwich, Clyde Christensen, Tom Moore. they all are more than willing to collaborate with him so that Brady can put his best foot forward and utilize the plays that he is most comfortable using.
That seems to have been an important piece of this for Brady as he was making his decision. Jenna, thank you very much. I'm fascinated by all of Bruce Arians' expressions, by the way.